All right, here we go again. Buckle up.
You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right. So I was pontificating here and just kind of sending the vibration out because I think a lot of people realize what I'm going to speak on. But when I said CYA, whatever it is, wanted me to broadcast it here. So we're here for hopefully a short little session. All right. So the governor legalized twisted tea. I think that's what it is called, that kind of stuff. Liquor and whatever mixer in cans to be sold in restaurants and fast food. Not fast food. I guess fast food too, but what's that place called? Well, I don't know. Does it affect fast food? I'd have to look at that. Whether they can get it to go or not. I guess they could, I guess. Have to look, though. But also convenience stores and whatnot. So there's a lot to doing that. And then they're going to most likely legalize cannabis. And the argument's the same I said in New Mexico. Now, in New Mexico, back then, they were buying it from Mexico. So the cartels were selling narcotics and cannabis. And that led to more of the gateway syndrome than you would necessarily see in legal sales. If they don't want to get, some legal sales people do that. And I spoke about that earlier, that they'll sell other narcotics where they're selling cannabis. Like now they sell cannabis where they sell the legalized stuff, whatever that was. Again, one of the legalized stuff they want to get rid of. I don't know what it's called, but I noticed that something was funky with those stores down in Ross Township. So, let me see what we got going on here. Make sure everything's still normal. They hit me and I tripped over some cord. I don't know what it did. All right, so it's many faceted. You get additional funds from this, and you don't want to miss out on those funds through taxation. Because what happens is when people use cannabis, there are certain things you need to do based upon basic law enforcement, medical issues later in life. There's all these things that come along. DWI, cannabis is close to being a testable level within the body. They have a program going. They think they've figured it out. Kind of like the breathalyzer, but different. So the governor needs the CYA, and that's several areas. We need to monitor you're okay. You wouldn't have to monitor it, I guess, because it's just going to come in. The tax is going to come in. Whatever the tax is on selling, or fees or tax, whatever they call it, on selling twisted tea in those stores, I imagine you attack something on. So that has to go into, that goes into policing, goes into maybe some sort of initiative of counseling, of public awareness. So the governor can, if he wants to do it, can get on a commercial, a public awareness campaign, part of a commercial and advertisement. I don't know what they even call them commercials anymore. And he could say, we've legalized this for you, but always remember, and then they can go, woo! And then the superintendent of state police walks into the scene. No, but you want to do that. You want to remind people, have a good time, but be safe. And also, I don't know what kind of programs they have here. Um, as far as calling for a ride, will that ad, not ad that, yeah, I guess public awareness campaign should include the number for. I don't know if you have a number here. They used to have numbers in some of the places I lived. If a person needed a ride home, that kind of thing. I think you can call an Uber nowadays, and that it's already pre-funded. I think. I'm not sure, but I think it is. And if it isn't, you should look into that. So again, you need to do a public awareness campaign on if you're going to drive, stay sober. If you could bring up the designated driver, bring up drinking at home, bring up traffic stops, bring up call for a ride. There should be. I think you can call Uber. Actually, I can Google that right now. Take a look. Ride share. Okay, so each area. This is Harris. There's one in Harrisburg. So do we have any out here? So again, when the marijuana money comes in, this might be something that you want to do. Quite possibly you could fund it that way. I don't know. You have to look at that. I think there'll be a lot of marijuana users, cannabis users in Pennsylvania. It's just one of those states. Penline.com. Some of the bars offer it. Okay, this is 2025, August 29th. The Sober Ride Home program is offering $20 Uber ride vouchers from 7 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. for Labor Day weekend to reduce DUI related incidents in Cumberland, Dauphin, and Perry County. So again, it looks like it's a county by county and could be also in some cases time restricted. I think it said that Harrisburg, the Tri-County area, offered a ride share. Central PA. Let's see. Launch a product called Sober Ride Home. Yeah, it doesn't look like it has any restrictions, but it's a pilot program. Hey, it's my birthday in 2024. Let me miss you. Tipsy Toe. Free toes for both holidays. Oh, there's another suggestion that maybe you could get. It's a Tipsy Toe Pro. They tow your vehicle too. Take it home for you. You ride home with the tow truck driver. That's pretty neat. That's a lot of times why people don't want to do it because my car is here. Okay, so look at Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So what we want to do probably is look into funding some of those programs. So again, the CYA program. And what you will do when you receive the additional funding, or you can project the additional funding, you're already hiring state police officers. hire additional state police officers. And when you hire them, where you put them, you're hiring, if you're hiring based upon the cannabis program and the Twisted Tea program, you, let's say you hire an officer and you put them in Butler County, or you hire two or whatever it is. It translates into man hours or woman hours. So you take those hours and you require that much more, DUI, DWI type of patrol. So they should, if you're taking the money from those programs, the funding should go, at least 75% to that type of patrol, because you could have other issues outside of just pulling, patrolling the roads, engaging in a traffic stop, pulling someone over, and then doing, the check or the checkpoint or whatever it is, because you'll also have to respond, possibly more so for whatever reason, to a restaurant or a convenience store. Right? So there's other patrol issues as far as drinking in front of the store, right, that we haven't maybe had to worry about before. And again, just figure it out, what, based upon what you believe the calls are going to be. And then, but you have to increase your DUI, DWI checkpoint. And it should happen. They should see that. And again, I was reading one of these programs where they were offering a ride, and it was pretty much because the police were cracking down. So the bar then gave free rides. So again, you can announce it. And, you recommend people. So Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and there's some other people that may want to help coordinate all that. So again, you have to figure out how much money's coming in, and people have to be honest. You want people grabbing Ubers everywhere. I'm high, give me an Uber. No, the Uber has to be home, not to a bar. Well, I'm only high. I'm not drunk. So again, we got to make sure they don't abuse the programs, but go through there's a whole series of things you have to go through, and regulation is important. I myself believe everybody should have to see a doctor before they buy cannabis. And if you want to bring up alcohol, yeah, that too. Like, they throw that at you. Well, people that drink alcohol don't have to go see a doctor, Frank. Well, they should go to that. Don't argue the other way with me. They should receive counseling and get a clearance from a doctor that it's safe to use cannabis. That's what I believe. And that should be updated every 3 years. That's what the governor said. That's what freedom looks like. That's what CYA looks like. So I don't know what you're going to do with your regulation. Regulation is very important. And if people are using it and driving it to another state, they're still using it here. And we're not, the other state gets the tax money for enforcement and, whatever other programs, education programs. And we're not, it's logical. But again, the regulation is important so that it's well regulated. So that it doesn't turn into a mess. Now, by default, any state that has, and I understand people 16 years old, 14 years old, 18 years old is using cannabis. I understand that regardless. But any state that legalizes narcotics, or legalizes, again, some states we tried that with narcotics and went crazy, but legalizes cannabis, is going to have an increased use of cannabis in junior high, high school. I would say that probably the two places that are affected the most. College students will go to another state and get it. We're speaking on a few things. When I was younger, when I was a juvenile, I think it was, I got in trouble for drinking. I think it's a standard in Bucks County, just about. But they brought up that my brother, underage drinking. I could have been 18, I don't know, but underage drinking. My brother at his fraternity house, I mean, they drank like crazy. They even smoked like crazy. Nobody bothered them. I didn't drink like crazy, and happened to be outside with a beer because I wasn't at a fraternity house. So situations, we need to realize what we're dealing with and how it's going to change, and how somebody could have, a mark on their record or whatever it is. So we have to address all sides of it, because somebody might use cannabis, and we might want to provide diversion programs if they're using cannabis under a certain age. I think it was 21 is when it's going to be legal. You'll definitely get people from 18 to 21 using it. So we don't want people to ruin their life, And in Pennsylvania, underage drinking is like a ticket. So it's not a big deal. Or was. I don't know what it even is. If it even exists anymore, I don't know. It's funny because I remember that time. No, he didn't the one guy didn't give us a ticket. What happened is the new drunk driving laws were being enacted. It was, I don't even remember when it was, but I was in my car. A guy came back from the military. I had to be around 18. A guy came back from the military, and he didn't do anything. He was really cool. He was a Horsham cop. I think he was in the Navy. The guy went in the Navy, came back, and I'm like, hey, let's get a beer and talk, old time's sake, have a conversation. Again, my brother's in his fraternity house, and they're like, woo! Me, I'm going to have like one beer with a military guy. So we pull over in Horsham next to, he was a Navy guy, and I think he walked in and got it without ID. And so we pull over. We're gonna, just have a good beer and just say, hey, that kind of deal. And pulls in right behind us, like within like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I don't even know that somebody called in the neighborhood. He was really nice guy. He was obviously like somebody in the neighborhood called, and that's why we, it probably wasn't 2 minutes. It was probably maybe less than 5 minutes. So he's like, you're gonna you got to be careful, because I wasn't going to get drunk anyway. It's going to be a beer and that's it. And it was like, it was like 10:30 or 11 or something. So it wasn't like, we're going to go home and go to sleep soon. We're just going to have a beer. So he says, they passed new laws. It's like Christmas or something. The guy's home for Christmas leave or something. And he says, they're going to have new laws next year, January 1st. He says, and you're not going to get away with stuff. And, he said, now, I'm just going to take the booze and that's it. Right. And the beer you have in your hand, dump it out. And that was it. But I remember, because it's funny, because I know when the DUI laws were passed. So again, we need to remind people of safe things, and of the repercussions in their life for unsafe things that they might engage in around twisted tea and cannabis. Remind them that all the other laws are still in place. And then we got to take, I don't know if you're going to spend the money first or wait for the money to start coming in before you, and you already have your money going towards law enforcement. But once if you pass cannabis, and if you already passed the twisted tea, there's probably a fee. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, Pennsylvania's like the most restrictive state when it comes to selling alcohol. But you know what? It was people used to be like not really caring. Like you could take a bottle into a restaurant, and they'd be like, "Sure." Nobody cared. Not that I did that, but my father would do stuff like that. My stepfather. The new alcohol beverage cans. Yeah. I thought it was 2024. So what's the difference now? What, there's a 6 piece. Okay, the taxes include 18% liquor tax. Philadelphia applies a 10% over that. But what'd you do? Increase the amount of liquor in it or something? I don't know. It's saying something was passed in 2024. Or is it an old news article I'm reading? Where did I read this? But it ties into cannabis. Whatever you do, whenever you actually, I'm going back here with this, and this doesn't record back there. Because I was going to get my phone to see if I could find the news article. Whatever you do as far as cannabis and increased alcohol sales. All right, so we have something in Delaware that's coming up, and it says Y, WHYY. First time I saw a YQ. Delaware bill would allow only liquor stores to sell non-alcoholic drinks with THC. Marijuana is entirely. So we need to address whatever Delaware is addressing right there. And of course, William Penn just came up. Again, this is how seeing works. William Penn just came up last night. I didn't know he owned Delaware too. Yeah, I'm ruling for Penn. You'd all be goofing off. I'm just trying to see only liquor stores to sell non-alcoholic drinks. So there's going to be a THC drink question. So you look at that. Okay, so Maine is scrambling to regulate sales, and that was last year. Where's the WH? What's the date? Yeah, it's all like last year, but so we have to look at that. THC drinks. Non-alcoholic THC drinks. So again, I think when it's looking at all that they're doing in Colorado, Maine, enforcement and education is very important. And again, the ability to get a ride. There's 2 programs that I saw. Again, we all know the rideshare one. Mothers Against Drunk Driving in certain locations have been able to include a tow and a ride. So they tow the vehicle, and then the driver rides with the tow truck driver. So even though we brought new cops in, make sure this is going to be an increased need for enforcement. It could be, it just depends. Again, if we start finding that people are sitting at convenience stores drinking, we're going to need to work on that. If we find that for some reason now there's an increase in aggression, drunk aggression at restaurants or something like that. I'm trying to find this free tow thing if I can. So I don't offer as much anymore, I guess. There's something from 2016 where Budweiser actually paid for your ride. San Antonio, free Uber rides from Pierre. No questions asked. A year ago, San Antonio Police Department. Provide the name of the venue, first and last name, model of car and plate number, event towing. All rides are from the board directly home. And that's is that a police number? Somehow the police know what your vehicle's at. So that's the best way to run it anyway. This collaboration post with NAV, the free rides. Okay, so yeah, they're saying it's a separate organization that's doing it, but somehow they transmit the information to San Antonio Police Department, your model number and your plate number, and they know not to tow your vehicle. So that's the kind of a CYA there too, to make sure they don't tow your vehicle when you get a ride home, because then you won't do it again if something happens like that. Again, if every weekend you show up for a free ride, I'm sure somebody's going to recommend, something. So again, so just CYA and an increase when you increase officers, make sure you're getting your the state police have to make sure they're taking the funds and that the governor's getting his money's worth as far as where we want. And the police have to analyze where the increased necessity comes from, and routinely, every 6 months or something. Where do we see, do we believe it's from the cannabis? Again, drinking twisted tea and cannabis, that's it can cause a lot of troubles. So again, and also well, the governor should appear in a public awareness campaign saying, hey, we're again, like you said, this is what freedom looks like, but responsible freedom, and then everybody whoever's involved in that program. So like the PA state police superintendent, if that's what they call him or her, should be in the ad, and they pick up and they say, or in the public awareness thing, and they say their piece. And then we have Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Uber, Lyft, whatever it is, we come together with it, because the money. So this could be a benefit of the taxation. I don't know what kind of taxation you're going to put on cannabis, but if that money could help fund free rides home, that would go a long way in people that are opposed to it and accepting that, hey, it's being responsibly administered. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God. No.